At the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers, which I love this game. It's
Speaking
very
of terrible, go ahead.
yeah. The Bucks, or I'm sorry, the Packers lost to the Vikings. That was that's what I would call a bad loss. That's a game you got to win.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. It was a really odd game. I'm not sure if you caught it at all, but
No, I didn't have that one on a TV, so I wasn't watching that one this week.
yeah, well, the Packers defense, if you want to
Swiss
call
cheese,
them that,
right?
Jesus, man, nobody knows how to tackle. Yeah, I couldn't name you a linebacker's name, probably because they never show up in the stat sheet. You
Yeah.
know?
It's either the defensive line or the defensive backs making tackles.
Exactly. There's a void in the middle, man. That's where the hole in the cheese is.
Yeah,
And it was a weird game because the Packers offense came out on fire,
hmm
right? Like two straight drives, two straight
I saw
touchdown
that. Yeah,
drives, unstoppable.
without
But
Aaron Jones too.
correct. But the defense couldn't get off the field, and then so like this momentum that the Packers usually, excel with,
hmm
it just got taken from them, and
Yeah.
they only had the ball twice in the first half, right? And then the ball went to the Vikings again in the second half. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then so before you know it, they're down seven all of a sudden.
Yeah, and
And
their offense hasn't been on the field all
the
but
offense was not on the
yeah.
field, and there was no momentum, and it was just really weird and choppy. And man, everyone talks about Green Bay, how they need a receiver, and maybe so, but Jesus, man, get somebody on the defensive, the midfield on the defense. Come on.
Yeah, maybe like
Sure.
you know what's funny is in the defense. So like offense, if you're looking for a difference maker, you can find a difference making offensive guard or center in like the fourth rounds. These guys that they're not going to show up, they're not going to have the big extension and all that stuff, but they will just anchor your offensive line for a decade. And make not much
Sure.
money, and it's like your meat and potatoes. It's what you need.
Yeah.
And the defense, there are two positions that you can replace easily in the second, third, fourth rounds and have like Pro Bowlers. Strong safety, free safety used to be one, like these rangy guys, but now that you have like an Ed Thomas and Tyrann Mathieu and like these like rangy guys that are ball hawks, they kind of changed that. So you see free safeties drafted. A strong safety that can stop the run. And maybe guard a tight end, which is increasingly necessary in today's NFL,
Sure.
and a middle linebacker. You can get an
I know.
impact middle linebacker late in drafts. And that seems to me like what the Packers need right now because they're getting gashed in the run game. And,
Yeah.
and
Well,
what
they had Blake Martinez, and
I thought he went to the Giants, right?
well, he did,
Yeah.
yes. So they let him go, but he was incredible, and he's
Yeah.
somebody that not too many people knew about. But man, all that guy did was make tackles. He
Yep.
was everywhere,
And he is everywhere for the Giants.
and he still is everywhere. The guy's an animal,
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason he goes under the radar. Not sure why, but when he left, it's like you almost need like a personality at middle linebacker, like
Yeah.
someone that's going to hold court and be a leader.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And keep everyone in line, almost like the quarterback would on the other side of the
And
ball.
oftentimes the middle linebacker is the one that relays the signals to the defense.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So he, in a way, is the leader and sets the tone. And they have none of that. The defensive backfield, I don't think, is the problem.
No.
What was a problem, though, is the lack of effort that I saw.
We were talking about Miami, and what have I said about Miami since Flores got there to coach is
They play hard.
they play hard. They could be down
play hard.
30. They could be down 30 points like they were last season in the fourth quarter, and you see a guy run on a sweep, and what do you see is you see 7 Dolphins in frame trying to tackle the guy.
Yes. The coaching there is fantastic, I'll have to admit, because it's not like they have all the talent in the world, right?
Yeah.
And they're always just in it and scrappy.
Yeah, but you can see that, and you can see that with the franchise, and that's when things are turning. So it's a little troubling when you say that the Green Bay Packers are not playing with effort because they're a damn good team.
Right.
And they don't
there was
have-
a couple plays there where Dalvin Cook was just dicing people up, and you saw guys just kind of running a little bit and just maybe leaving it to somebody else. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was gross. It was gross to see, and I was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
It's the funny thing about the Packers is they don't just lose normally, right? They don't just like go somewhere and have a hard fought game.
Have a good loss, as I call
Have
it.
a good loss. You fought hard, you played well, but you didn't squeak it out, and that's what happened. It's like they get out coached or out manned a little bit.
Out efforted, maybe.
Yeah,
Since we-
out efforted, sure. They
Yeah.
just don't show up, and it's the oddest thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but damn it,
Well, let's look at the 49ers because the 49ers lose Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle in the same week.
Boy, that team, they're like the Eagles. They can't stay on the field.
They can't stay on the field, but unlike the Eagles, they're so deep that they always – and they're so well coached.
Yes, right.
That organization is so strong. It's like they're building an organizational structure like what we say the Ravens, or what I would used to say is the New England Patriots. Although as we've argued the last couple of weeks, I'm not a buyer. I'm a big seller on the New England Patriots. At least
I know,
Cam Newton.
me too, man. We've got to let that go and adapt with the times, I guess.
Yeah, I know. But San Francisco, the one thing they can do always against anybody is run the ball.
Yeah, right. So Green Bay's in trouble.
Green Bay is in trouble. Even with
the quarterback.
Even with Mullins.
Mullins.
Yeah,
They're
even with Minkus, Boy Meets World, Minkus.
Minkus back there.
And then, even with receiver Deebo Samuel's on IR, George Kittle now is going to be out like 8 weeks, maybe the rest of the year or something like that. Even with that, San Francisco, Raheem Mostert's out. You're going to be going towards your third and fourth. I still think Green Bay's in trouble because
I do too. I actually don't think they win.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird to say, but they're definitely in trouble. San Francisco was the worst matchup for them by way of coaching and scheme.
Yeah,
and we saw that last year twice. And
they weren't competitive.
Right, and that's not going to change regardless of who's back there.
Yeah.
You'd almost be better off having Garoppolo back there because they'd probably ask him to throw a little bit more.
I know. Seriously, this could be 50 runs from San Francisco.
Totally,
just pound. And I'm worried for Green Bay because that Minnesota game, and I thought that Minnesota would get better throughout the season. I was surprised at how poorly they started the year, but their schedule was also brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Well, we know Minnesota they're not the Jets, even though they're 1-5. They're a competitive and a good 1-5 if that could even be possible, right? You can't just have them come into town and overlook them.
Right.
Maybe there was a little bit of that. I don't know.
Could
but that
be,
bullshit,
man.
We said, I'm gonna zip it because I'm acting on emotion here.
You are.
That's counterproductive as an adult.
You're right.
All right?
You are right.
I'll acquiesce to you. Just tell me some stuff. So.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. We already said it. San Francisco. I'm just a big believer in the run game, and the line early in the week, I'm sure is going to shift. I'm just going to give you the line right now. Green Bay, according to Bovada, is -3 to open the week. Although I tend to think with the quarterback situation, it's going to slide even more in Green Bay's favor.
Right. And
on the
may
road,
be the bet of the week. San Fran. If the line ends up at Green Bay -4 or -4.5, that could be the bet of the week, taking San Fran.
I bet you this thing gets up to 6.5, 7.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
It's blasphemous coming out of my mouth, but got to be a realist at times, no?
Yeah. I'm going to take, early in the week, I was going to take San Francisco. I was going to take Green Bay. I am switching my pick to San Francisco because I think that line is going to switch. And Garoppolo hasn't been playing great. The key is, Mullins came out and laid an absolute egg against Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football a while ago. It's going to be a primetime game, short week. Mullins has to have a clean stat sheet. If he can avoid turnovers this week, I think San Francisco covers this game just based on where I think the line will end up and because San Francisco can run the ball, man. It's going to be ball control, and that's Green Bay's big weakness, and that's a big weakness to have
against San Fran.
And when you get into the playoffs because Seattle can run the ball.
Right.
Tampa Bay can run the ball.
Man, it's run-centric. You start getting into these physical teams. That's who survives,
Yep.
The days when, what was it, the greatest show on turf, and you could just air it out and, excel that way. Like, that does exist, right? KC does that.
Yeah.
But you come across these teams that are going to punch you in the mouth. You find yourself down 10 before you know it.
The NFL is swinging back, especially with the mobile quarterback. The NFL is swinging back towards running, and these running teams, I really like them in the playoffs.
I like that. I miss the days of run and defense, man. We need more of that. I missed 9-7 games, going into the fourth.
Going into the fourth, that's fine. I don't want that to be the final. But a little bit of drama, some ball control. 9-7. At least give me one long touchdown. Let's make it at least like 17-14 going into the fourth.
Okay, I'll give you that because that 13-3 Super Bowl 2 years ago was gross.
Oh, it was disgusting.
That was a bad game.
Let's move it on. We got